What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Backyard Talk podcast. In this episode, we speak with Sofia Chepnik, USF standout. We talk about the Clemson transfer, NIL deals, having an agent as a women's lacrosse player, as well as SZA, an NBA young boy, and her experience playing college lacrosse. Stay tuned. Sofia, what's going on? Welcome to the Backyard Talk podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
You're excited to be here, Tampa Bay. We're here. You're here. How's everything going?
It's going great. I love being in Tampa, back in Florida, back in my home state. So I'm definitely happy.
You're definitely happy. How was SZA concert? How was that going?
Oh my gosh.
It was lit. It looked packed.
It was amazing. And we had really good seats.
Really?
So it was definitely one of the best nights of my life.
Best night of your life. Have you been to a concert in Tampa yet or no?
I haven't. That was my first one.
That was your first one?
Yes.
Wow.
I did see Rod Wave came, but I found out the day of and I was really, really upset.
Yeah. I'm not a big Rod Wave guy. I mean, I think he's okay. Yeah.
People do have mixed opinions. A lot of people say that he sounds the same in every song, but
I just don't think he's good. I was like, dude, he's not fire. Rod Wave, if you want to come on the podcast, we can make that happen.
No, I think he's so good.
You think he's so good?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, yeah. I mean, I wanted to go to SZA, but I was like, who am I going to go with?
Well, you could have came with us, but.
Hey, maybe next time. She come back, we'll do it.
Okay.
But let's get into it. I know you just transferred here. Mm-hmm. Big USF transfer, big move from Clemson. But before we get into that, I want to talk about you're from Jacksonville. Mm-hmm. What got you into lacrosse? Who got you there? Start from the beginning, and then we'll just work our way through this whole little story. So.
Okay. So I grew up playing soccer. I was a big soccer girl.
Okay.
And my family played, a bunch of my siblings played, and then it just wasn't enjoyable for me anymore. And it was in 6th grade. And so, you want to have fun at that age still. Yeah. And so the fact that I wasn't having fun, my parents were like, you don't need to do it anymore. And I was like, thank you. So my siblings were playing lacrosse at the time, and we're a big sport family, I would say. Yeah. My brother played football at Tufts. My sister Grace actually didn't play a sport in college. She's an artist. But then my other sister.
Like a rapper?
No, no, she's like a painter.
Oh,
and
she
does
paints.
basketball, yeah. So
okay.
She's the only non-athletic one. Gracie, if you're watching, I'm sorry, but so everyone played lacrosse though in high school, and it was on Sundays at this random park. And the McCords, my coaches actually at USF, were doing these clinics for youth ages, and my parents signed me up, and I started playing, and I actually hated lacrosse. I couldn't pass or catch. It was just not something that I could pick up easily. But my siblings were very competitive, and they would tease me how I couldn't pass or catch. So I was like, I'm going to prove them wrong. I'm going to learn how to pass and catch. And then learned how to pass and catch, and, that's the basis of the sport. So I fell in love with it, and now I'm here.
Now you're here. So what high school did you go to out in Jacksonville? Who's the big school out there?
So I went to Episcopal School of Jacksonville, and my freshman to my senior year, we were a completely different team.
Yeah.
So we went to the Final Four my senior year, and our goal was to win states, but to make it to the Final Four when we hadn't won a regional championship ever.
Yeah.
Before that, we lost districts the year before my junior year. So kind of to make that leap, it was huge. And then the other big rival schools, they split into Class 1A and 2A. So we were Class 1A, and the other big rival school was Ponte Vedra and Bartram Trail. They were the two powerhouses in Florida, and they have always been that. But my senior year, we became the third powerhouse, and it was just a really good competitive nature overall between us three.
That's crazy because in Tennessee, it's everybody's in the same, there's two divisions. I think there's 1A and 1B or something. I don't even know. But, everybody, the state championship is if you're the best team in Jacksonville, you got to travel to, to go play. In Tennessee, it's Memphis, Nashville, and Chattanooga. We all, it's not does Jacksonville have its own championship, their own?
No, so it's the entire state. So
okay,
one,
cool.
Florida's so big, and two,
Florida's huge.
Is growing. I think it's the fastest growing sport amongst youth ages, which is huge. So especially in Florida, because we can play year round, it kind of blew up, and they were we need to make 2 classes. So, and then they split, and so it's kind of the private schools and then the public schools. So. Yeah. So
was you a public school girl or a private school girl?
I was a private school. Yeah. So
okay.
Smaller than usual. But,
yeah. Because I know the big dog out here is I can't even think of the name of the school out here in Tampa.
Plant?
Yeah.
Plant, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. I was going to say, I almost said
more,
Palm. I was like, it's like Palms or something. Palms is like the club team, though.
Yeah, that is the club team. There's like Plant, and then there's
Florida Select. Are we talking about?
That's club.
Okay.
So Plant's high school. And then there's Newsome, I think, is the other big one.
Newsome? Okay.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah, I didn't.
My high school.
High school days. Yeah, it all changes. Everybody's like, what I know from high school to now is a whole different. Everybody's
it's so completely different. And it's crazy because for me, it was only like 2 years ago that I was in high school, or like 3 years
crazy.
Ago. And it feels like I've lived like a whole nother life.
Dude, yeah. That's what I'm saying. So like, I was in high school like 5 years ago. I'm like, dude, I am old.
I feel old now too. And because I still feel like I'm in high school, sometimes when I go see like high school games or see people from my high school, I'm like, oh my gosh.
But you were in high school during the pandemic too, right?
I was, and it was during recruiting. So
yeah, so let's talk about that, because that probably played a big role in like your original decision. Like, what was that COVID recruiting like? Because like for me, I was like freshman year in college, like I was swimming. But for you, like, let's talk about the recruiting process and COVID and.
Well, they had the rule change, so they changed it to college coaches can't contact you until September 1st of your junior year. And I was pretty late to lacrosse, I would say. I started later than most girls. I couldn't really compete with them at that time. So I used COVID as kind of a time to catch up to these top recruits. So I would hit the wall for like 4 hours a day because we couldn't do anything. We were locked down. I would run. I would do a bunch.
You hit the wall for 4 hours?
Yeah, I would go out and I would do like 2 hours in the morning because I'm very OCD about the way I do wall ball. So it's like if I say in a row, I can't drop it. Okay. So I would like always have to start over.
Yeah.
So I got really into wall ball, and that was probably my biggest jump from my sophomore year to my junior year. I made a huge leap in kind of, my skill level, but we couldn't go to any camps or clinics because the coaches
couldn't have anybody on campus because they know what you guys,
So they kind of recruited based off your sophomore and freshman year. So I had a bunch of all these top schools, and you wait so long for September 1st, and then you kind of get there, and then it's almost like depleting that if you don't get your dream schools. And me personally, I didn't, and I was actually, it was probably one of the most stressful times in my life because it's so like mentally draining, and a lot of people don't realize that, especially parents, and even I know, and it's hard on the parents too, but you don't, it's like you almost like see your value with the way that your coaches see your value. So I was about to quit lacrosse. I was like, I can't play anymore. Like, I want to go to University of Hawaii. Like, I was like, I'm getting far away. Yeah. I was like, I'm getting far away from here. I'm done with lacrosse. Yeah. But, and then Oregon actually reached out to me. I went out and visited. You couldn't talk to the coaches or see the coaches. So I just went out and visited, obviously, Jacksonville, Florida to Eugene, Oregon is a very far trip.
Dude, yeah. Did you drive there?
Oh, gosh, no. We had a red eye. And I was like...
Not the red eye.
Those are bad.
Those are bad.
Yeah. But I went out there. You couldn't do like any officials. I remember I had my official visit with one of the schools that I was talking to on FaceTime with the coach. So you couldn't go out and visit or anything. So it was a lot different when I entered the portal because it was like I could actually go and visit these schools and get the official visits that I never had, which was really cool.
That's sick. So how many schools did you have coming out of high school? Like what schools you looking at?
So.
Because mine were embarrassing. I'm kidding.
No. Well, okay, after I decommitted my junior to senior year, I actually started talking to like a bunch of like my like dream schools. But at that,
so wait, you were committed to Oregon?
Yeah, so I committed.
And then I
decommitted.
And then you decommitted. Mm-hmm. Then you went to
Yeah. So then I went to Clemson. So I was actually I was getting recruited by a bunch of different schools, and I was about to take a gap year and go to a different school, but I had to wait till September 1st to commit to that school. So. I went up and visited Clemson, and then obviously I committed and went there. But it was really, I guess, fulfilling to see what hard work can do, because I went from not getting looked at by any of my dream schools to that summer talking to them, trying to figure out ways to make it work. Yeah. And really seeing that I can play with these top players, which is exciting. And some people didn't have any more scholarship, or there's just a lot of different things that go into it. But
for sure,
it was exciting, and I was really grateful that I could go play at Clemson.
So like, I mean, because playing for Clemson is like that's where everybody wants to go right now. Everybody wants it's Clemson's like it's either Clemson or some big school. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, you get the football aspect there, you get the big Division I field there. That's the dream because most lacrosse, you know. You're not playing at a big school. You're at a smaller school or maybe middle of nowhere, or you're like just far away from everybody. So to be able to go to Clemson, like that experience there, like from the football aspect and being able to go out, like how was that? Because you got to do everything. You get everything there.
So football, I grew up I grew up in the South. I grew up in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And so my mom went to Florida State
for
undergrad, and then she went to grad school at UF. So. Yeah, so completely different.
Can you do that?
She's a Knowles fan. I know.
Okay,
she's a Knowles fan.
That might be like illegal.
I know, seriously.
Not that you're gonna say UF. It's like the rival.
It is the rival. I remember those games were crazy. But I grew up watching football, so to be able to go to a big football school was really exciting to experience that. But even at USF, it's really fun. Like game days, you wake up and you're like, oh, we got a game today. And even though it's not your game, it's your football game, and it's almost like you're playing, like you have the adrenaline of it. When we played Alabama last weekend, that was crazy. And
that game was crazy.
Yeah, and we were winning 3-0 like the entire.
Dude, the game was like low scoring as hell.
Oh my gosh. And our defense was doing so good, but we just couldn't convert on the offensive side. And they finally pulled through, but it's okay.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Did you go to the game?
I did.
Where'd you sit?
I sat like right in front of the field. I was to the left of the student section, but right on the first row.
It was at the Buck Stadium.
It was, and then I don't know if you watched it, but it started monsooning outside.
Yeah, I was at a bar nearby. It was lit, but they closed all the blinds. It started raining hard as hell. I was like out of nowhere.
And at that point, like we were all already out there. Like my friend got water damage in her phone, and I was like, "Oh my gosh."
They got put it in the rice.
Yeah, I know. She did. That didn't work.
Yeah, but I think that's like a myth.
I know. I agree with that.
Like, I don't think that
my phone's like on its last.
Yeah,
standing.
It is what it is. But. So you're back to the Clemson story. You were there. You had a phenomenal like freshman year. I remember I've seen reels of you on Instagram. Like, damn, that girl's good. You were played in most of the games there. You had 15 out of 16. How many games did you play? 16.
I think I didn't play in 3 games.
3 games. I
was sick. One of them I didn't play in.
True freshman. You had 33 goals.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Thank you.
That's insane. And you guys beat Duke.
We did. That was definitely my favorite memory. And kind of going back to the recruiting process, that was the school that was my dream school.
Really?
Like, at one point. And I got to talk to them going into my senior year. And, the recruiting process is crazy. That coaching staff is amazing. They obviously have had tremendous success. And so they started looking at me. We kind of started getting in contact, but then they reached out to my coach and they were just like, we don't have any more spots. And, I watched the Michael Jordan documentary, The Last Dance. And, he's like, I took that personally. And I was like, and although they didn't have any spots, I just remember being like I would have done anything to make that work. And I think everything happens for a reason.
For sure.
Going into that game, I remembered that. And I told my dad, I was like, I'm going to make them remember.
Like they're gonna feel me next year. No, I feel that for sure.
And nothing against them at all. Like they're a tremendous team. But I do remember that it was my dream school and I really wanted to go there. And then the recruiting process is crazy, so they have to do what's best for their team.
Did you score that game?
Yeah, so I scored. I don't really like to talk about it even like that, but that was my favorite memory. I scored the game tying, game winning. And those are like the moments that athletes live for.
Yeah, that's some shit you like die for.
Oh my gosh, it was amazing, and that celebration.
Or was it at Clemson?
It was at Clemson.
Oh, so you like the hometown hero at that point. Yeah.
Everyone was going crazy. It was like
Sofia. Oh my god!
And I remember, and so rewatching the game, you never really realize. I have I don't want to say tunnel vision, but it's like I black out after the game.
No, yeah. I feel the same way. Like you get into that mode and you just
you're like nothing else.
Like nothing else matters right now.
So and I remember I made a dodge and I didn't even think this girl was in front of me, and then I rewatched the play and it's like, oh, she was right in front of me, and then the game winning goal, someone had done a flip to me, and then the Duke girl kind of swatted it down, but I was able to run onto it and get it, and I have a shooting coach back in Jacksonville, Dan Toole, and we would always work on coming
Shout
across.
out Dan Toole.
Yeah,
I don't know
best.
Dan, but like, is he the goat out there?
Oh, he's the best. He would shoot with me until it would be dark. We would go out there at 3 and we would just shoot. We would play Pig for like 4 hours until something.
Pig, what's that?
PIG. So you got to like call your shots before.
I play defense, so.
Oh, well.
As
a shooter, we do Pig. So.
Yeah, that was awesome. I mean, you could shoot the ball, but like, I'm paid to get ground balls.
Yeah. Well. So I got a ground ball, and then for me personally, I'm not too big on the ground ball side, but on the ride,
it's the grit. It's grit.
It is grit, but it was like all muscle memory, and then it went in, and it was just I didn't even know what to do. I remember like I stomped my feet, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, I need to work on my celebration, but it was.
You gotta work on your celebration. You could do like maybe like
we
the
tried.
Shador.
I know, yeah.
You could do that this year. The Shador.
Yeah, we did. One of the 5th years we did like the angel wreath where she like put the crown on. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Oh, I love angel wreath. So we were like, we did that after one.
Shout out Angel Reese. She can come on the podcast too.
She's awesome. Oh
yeah, gosh, she's actually dating one of my, like we're like friends, but like it's my homeboy's friend. Okay. He goes to camp.
Yeah, at FSU.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
like my boy Cleveland, like shout out Florida State Seminoles basketball team. Yeah. They're like those are my boys. But I know she's dating Angel Reese. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's a small world.
It is a small world.
It's such a small world.
Especially the lacrosse world. The lacrosse world is so small.
Everybody knows everybody in lacrosse. Yeah. I can name somebody on pretty much, or somebody who knows somebody on another team, or something like that. Like,
and you're just like somehow connected. Somehow. And like camps and clinics, you see the same girls for like 4 years, and then one time. The first camp I went to was a UNC winter camp. Okay. And I met this girl named Pamela, and I ran into her my junior year, going into my senior year, like at a tournament. Yeah. And my dad walked into to a gate station, and somehow they started talking, and he was like, "Yeah, my daughter Sofia Chepnik," and she was like, "Oh my gosh, like I played with her like 4 years ago." What? And then so it's a small
That's
world.
crazy though, because I've had the same situations happen, like just random occurrences, like, "Oh, you so and so," like, dude, what? Like, how you even know that?
Yeah,
like,
and it's crazy. Yeah, it's fun though.
It's fun though. It's fun to like meet people. You see them a couple of years ago, like, bro, I remember you. Like, small world.
I know, it's small world.
But so now you're at USF. Mm-hmm. You have an agent. Can we just talk about that? Because, like, first of all, to have an agent in lacrosse, I think is crazy. I think you, Charlotte North, maybe Bella Smith, maybe she hasn't. I don't know if anybody else really has one. Like, I know pros that don't even have agents. Yeah. So, like, how the fuck do you prove? How do you pull that off?
Well, it's really surreal to say that I have an agent. I still feel weird when it comes out of my mouth, like, my agent. I really try and refrain from saying that, too, because I feel like I'm really big on relationships and being able to have a personal relationship with whoever I'm working with, my coaches, my teammates. Mm-hmm. So we have a great relationship. He's awesome. He DM'd me, and it was in my request for a while. I had deleted social media like the fall of my freshman year because I got really sick. I had mono. And when I went back on, I was like looking through my requests, and I was like, "Dad, like, does this seem legit?" Like, so he got on a Zoom with me and my parents, my mom.
Where's he at?
Christian Christian, so he's out of Charlotte, North Carolina now, but he actually went to my high school, so he graduated from Episcopal.
Really?
Yeah, so it's a really small world again, but
that's so crazy.
We got on the phone, and he was like, "Well, what do you want to stand for?" And I knew I wanted to stand for women's empowerment, and he was like, "Okay, what else do you want to promote?" And we kind of ran through the list of products I would want to use, different things, and he knows what to align kind of my brand with, and when a company comes to him that he knows that I just wouldn't like, or because I don't want to do it for the money. It's more so something that I actually believe in and would want people to use.
No, for sure.
He just sends them away, and he's really a good liaison for like
middleman. Yeah, like big. Yeah. So like, we got you on here. Like Christian he's cool to talk to. Like, good dude. I mean, I was glad he like let you do this. I was like, because some agents like will be like, there she's like, I was always something. I'm like, bro.
I know, and like for me, to be able to like try, one of the reasons why I came back to USF, I came back to Florida, was because I wanted to grow the game. So doing things like this and like being able to talk about lacrosse and how fast growing and special it is
Yeah.
something that I would always want to just jump to.
100%.
You know? So
That's what we're here for. You know, and like I said, like, so he's got all these deals with you. You've got, like, tell me about what you said, Loot Mongo. Like, can you explain like what that is? I don't even know what that is. I mean, nobody. I mean, the crowd might know, but like,
so it's
maybe
a sports metaverse online gaming.
So like
company.
3D stuff.
Like kind of like, you know, like with like virtual reality and different things like that. I'm not a huge gamer, but it's really cool because you can go on and play different sports almost not in obviously real time, but you know, see different situations that you can help with like IQ and different things. And their lacrosse part hasn't launched yet, but when it launches, that's going to be huge, I think. To like.
So that's where you come in.
Yeah.
So who else doing that besides you? Just you?
As of right now, I'm pretty sure it's just me.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So like
really cool.
virtual reality, like on the lacrosse field.
Yeah, essentially.
So I'm gonna be able to like put like some goggles on and like
juke
somebody out. Yeah.
Like break some ankles.
That's crazy. I've never heard of that. That's gonna be sick though.
Yeah.
When's that come out?
You know, it keeps on getting pushed back because they want it to be like
perfect.
Yeah, perfect. And you know how that goes with like business and whatnot. So it's kind of just all in the works right now. And whenever
where are they based out of?
In California.
So you go to Cali sometimes.
Oh, I would love to go to Cali, but I hopefully will go this summer.
Yeah, I'll be out there in December for another podcast. Can't say who yet, but yeah, it's be lit.
Yeah.
LA's dope. I've never been, but it looks sick.
Yeah, it does look sick, except it looks expensive too. So.
I mean, dude, Tampa, same way.
Right, yeah, Tampa is expensive, but there are certain parts that aren't.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, you can really manage it. Like, if you just don't go out Monday through Sunday, like, you could save a lot of money, but it's like the partying part that people probably get lost in. And Ubers here are like $70. Like,
Ubers are expensive.
Yeah. I mean, How far is Ybor from you? Like 5 minutes, 10 minutes?
Probably like 20 minutes. Because USF is like, USF, I don't want to say it's a college town, but it's all like in gate. It's has a gate around it.
Right.
So you know where USF is. And they obviously have different kind of campuses at St. Pete, and I think Bradenton is their other campus. But
there's one in downtown Tampa too.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Yeah.
But you know, so it's nice to have that kind of enclosed feeling, but then you have such a big city, and I have a huge personality, so you
gotta be out.
Yeah, I just like to be able to do different things and like explore different places. You know, like we're in Hyde Park right now, which is a sick area.
Yeah.
And there's like Sparkman's Wharf and amateur work, so I like to be able to like go out and see the vibe of different places.
For sure. Yeah. Nah, that's lit. You know, where was I about to go with that? Because I had something very important to say, but I forgot.
About Tampa.
Yeah, about Tampa. Damn. It just slipped my mind. It'll come back to me in a minute.
Okay.
But just continue on with the story. So USF, we're here. You know, got the season coming up.
Yeah.
Not even playing this year, which I did not know. You're not even. USF is not playing 2024. I thought they were. You know, I think a lot of people think y'all are playing this year. So can you explain like what y'all are doing this year, and then like what's to come after that?
So we do have a spring break, which will be my first spring break since I think like freshman year of high school.
Yeah. Wait, so you get to go to Gatsby this year? Are you going to Gatsby?
Oh, Gasparilla? The Gasparilla?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I want to go, but it's also
During
I don't know when it is. You know, because technically we do have exhibition games and whatnot, but it's not the same, you know, competitive level of like we're competing to get into the tournament and things like that.
Yeah.
So we do have a year to train.
You guys are like
I don't even want to say a year off.
Yeah, it's not even a year off. You're like getting ready for another season.
So we have an exhibition year, and when I was in the kind of recruiting process again in the transfer portal, when I was here and talking to Coach Mindy McCord, our head coach, she loved Jacksonville, so she didn't really think she was going to leave. So to make a switch like this, it would have to be a big deal. And, you know, their culture as an athletic department aligns with the culture that she instills in her players and her teams. So she made the switch, and she was like, under one circumstance, that we have a year to train. Because she wanted to build the team from the ground up. With first years, we don't have that many transfers. We only have 7. So we only have 2 fifth years. So they'll have this year and then 1 more year when we actually are playing. And then they'll graduate. But everyone else has like 3 more years. So essentially we're going to be a newer team. So she wanted to be able to, you know, build these girls up individually and as a team and make this culture something that she knows that she likes and wants. And, you know, all the girls that she recruits, she knows that she believes in them.
Like they're bought in on what we're doing here.
Exactly.
Yeah. This isn't transfer you.
And that's and so, and that's such a big thing for her and for the team as well. Like we all have to be bought into the same goals if we're going to win. You know, we have goals as a team to win the AAC conference the first year and make it into the tournament and compete at the national level. So you have to have girls that are bought in. You have to have girls that want to work hard, that want to, you know, support each other and everything that we do.
Yeah.
So we have the extra year to train, build our culture, and kind of make it what we want as a team before we actually step on the field and compete. So I guess a year and a half because we have next fall too.
Right.
But it's exciting.
So who y'all playing this fall?
So we play, our big game will be Florida.
That's y'all's rival? Is that going to be like y'all's rival?
Yeah, that'll be our rival.
Not Jacksonville?
Nope.
Wow.
So South Florida and Florida, that'll be our rival, especially because we're in the same conference.
Yeah.
So it'll be us two, and then just some Division II schools in Florida. So we play Embry-Riddle, which my sister Stella is actually the assistant.
Shout out Stella.
Yeah. So hopefully she doesn't give away all my
sisters out here. Abby did the same thing. Like
I know.
Sister connection.
Yeah.
I got a sister too. Shout out Samaya.
Yeah.
We love you, girl.
Mm-hmm. So hopefully I shouted out Grace, Connor, and Stella. So shout out to all you guys. But Stella, she's like my biggest supporter. She texts me before every game, tries to FaceTime me.
What'd she say to you? What gets you fired up?
Well, I'm not a really big talker. Like when it comes to like game time, like I like to like music, like
Jordan mode.
Yeah, but I am like I like to like get hyped before the game, but like not like talk like serious about. Like,
what's your go-to song?
Any Youngboy song.
Any Youngboy song. NBA Youngboy.
I'm a Youngboy girl.
Okay, NBA Youngboy.
Or like Freestyle by Lil Baby. Like I'm like.
Lil Baby. Okay. No, Lil Baby was just here. Like,
he was just here. Yes.
Did you go? No, you didn't go.
We had recruits in town, so I went to a dinner with them. But
what?
Yeah. So
you went to dinner with Lil Baby?
No. I went to dinner with the recruits.
Oh, I was like, what the fuck?
I know.
Like,
imagine. Oh my
that'd
gosh.
be crazy.
No, but yeah, I saw
Shout
that.
out Lil
and like
Baby.
Glorilla was here.
I don't know who Lil Rillo is.
Glorilla?
Gorilla?
You know, like the girl that sings Tomorrow too.
That
I was singing, but I don't think I should be singing on the podcast. I'll just talk.
Yeah. That's funny. No, because I was about to say, there's always rappers here, but that's lit though. I mean, Lil Baby.
Yeah.
That's funny. So your go-to is this NBA Youngboy. What's that song he got? Like Rebel and what's the one?
Rebels Kick It?
Yeah, I like that one. My homeboy Zach, shout out Zach Marinello. He loves Lil Baby too. He's got to geek up with that.
Yeah,
that's funny.
And then like Genie.
Genie.
That's a good OG. Or yeah, there's a couple.
I'm a Dolph guy. Like I'm big on like
Dolph,
I'm from Memphis, so like shout out Dolph.
What's that one song he has?
Live.
On the River? That's a good one. That
Wiz Khalifa?
Yeah.
That's about the Mississippi River. That's Memphis.
Yeah, that's really good.
You like that one? Yeah. Okay, cool. We can vibe to that one then. Yeah. No, I'm just curious to know what your pregame rituals look like. Like I have to like have like my shoes have to be tied like the same amount of tightness, like just
pregame rituals.
Pregame stuff like that. Songs, I got the same songs. Like I'm playing like.
So for me, like pregame actual rituals. Yeah. I spat my cleat, and so anyone who doesn't know, so anyone who doesn't know what spatting is, it's basically you just tape your cleats, and you know a lot of. Okay, so the way that I got into it is because my dad would buy my sister and I these cleats because in Florida we have to wear helmets for high school lacrosse. We're the only state to have to wear helmets, so he couldn't really tell us apart.
Even for like college too.
No,
just like high school.
Oh my gosh, if it was college, no, it's only high school.
Do you like the helmet?
No. I didn't, because I went to college and I was like, we can actually do our hair kind of cool now.
Yeah, like, I can do like the Avatar look.
Yeah, so I have my bubble braids. That's something that.
Or like the Miley Cyrus, like people do that.
Like space buns.
Yeah.
One girl on my team actually does space buns, Claire Natoli. So shout out Claire. But
we're shouting out everybody.
Yeah, I feel like this is
Sunday shout out. We're just plugging everybody.
Yeah, so we do. So I spat my cleats.
Yeah.
And then I but I tape my wrist for like shooting and whatnot, and like kind of like when I start to get in the mode, like I'm like, okay, I'm locked in, like I'm all taped up. So
let's go outside. Let's get this going.
I know, but my hair I have to do like 3 hours in advance to like our like pregame.
Yeah.
So like it starts to hurt my head. So like literally at pregame meal, like I have to like start holding up my hair because it's so heavy that it's like I have start getting like a huge headache. But it's just like so I like my hair a specific way. I can't have like any bumps in it. You know, the bubbles have to be tight.
Do you do eye black too?
I don't. I feel like it would be too much with like the tape and everything if I like came out with just like eye black. So
yeah, no, I feel that. We used to do it. We're like the eye black king at my previous school, BW. But I don't know about Tampa. We'll see. I bet they do the same. It's hot here, so you kind of have. I feel like you need it. You know.
Oh yeah. I mean, because it is technically for the sun, but I don't think anyone.
It's just for cool looks at this point.
It is cool. I like when people like in high school. I would do like the crying one.
Really? That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was like my go-to one.
Nice.
Shout out Keely Cleland, who plays at Arizona State, because we would do that before every game. We would do each other's eye blacks, and then we would just like pull it down. So that was fun.
That's gang.
Yeah, it is. Best friend right there.
That's crazy. Nah, because I know. Do you like game goals? You do like what are your? Because for me like it's like I need to get 2 or 3 ground balls a game. Like I feel like that's doable. You know, if I can get that,
so,
I'm cool. I think that's possessions. Yeah. You know.
I mean, like. I wouldn't say game goals because I feel like as an attacker, once I start to get like so caught up in like, oh, I need to score, then it's like
it's about you.
You just play and you're like just selfish and whatnot.
Right.
So for me, I always try and say like, let the game come to me.
Yeah.
Because then I'll start to play relaxed and like I won't worry about things, and then that's when I play my best, whether I have 0 goals or 5. You know.
Right.
So, and like I like assisting. Like
that's your thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I didn't know you were an assist gal.
Yeah. I like assisting.
Hey, it's the same. Is it the same amount of points, right? Like assist.
Yeah, it's one.
Yeah,
one
it's how it is in men's too. So, winning is winning. So
exactly, and like it's a team sport. So I'd rather win and have the worst game than lose and have the best game of my life.
Right. Nobody likes people like that.
Yeah.
So, why now? We haven't even talked about this. So why the switch? From Clemson to USF in a year. We ain't got to go too deep. Like we talked about that. But
so. I'll go into why USF because I think
why USF, why nowhere else? I feel like you had probably like some other looks coming out of in the portal. You probably getting hit up like, yo, we got a spot for you right now. You can start today. So why USF?
Okay, so there's 4 main reasons to why USF. So one, I've had a relationship with the McCord since I was in 6th grade, and they've always put an emphasis on valuing you as a person over an athlete, which I think is kind of, I don't want to say rare, but it is kind of hard to come by now in like college sports because it's a business and you want to recruit the best players. But they've always put such a big importance on that, and so feeling valued as a person and knowing that I have their support no matter what, no matter how I perform on the field was really big to me. And then 2, the plan that they had in place to compete from the beginning. I went into on my official. Down here, I went into the to the room that we like had our meeting in, and they pulled up this entire PowerPoint presentation of how we're going to compete, how we're going to build a culture, how we're going to build each other up. And I thought that was huge. I'm very plan oriented, and to have kind of a layout of what we wanted to accomplish and how they wanted the team to look coming off and competing right off the bat, I thought was great. And then the 3rd reason, just the support that you have from the athletic department at USF. Not only is our culture as a team relationship driven, but also the entire athletic department. The athletic director came up to me the other day and was just like, hey, how's your family? Like, I just want to check in on you, making sure like you're loving the switch, And I thought that was huge. Like the biggest guy in the athletic department is coming up and asking about my family, which is like, I think something that speaks value about it. So, and they also want to be a pioneer in women's sports and women's NIL. NIL, I think we only hit on it a little bit, but it's such a big resource for female in sports. I think originally it was kind of geared towards, football and basketball.
Right, but now it's like...
Now they see the value in women and in women's sports and how much we can bring to a company and an organization. So they want to be on the forefront of that as a athletic department. And then lastly, to be able to come back to Florida and give back to
hometown
the sport.
Hero.
Yeah. Just give back to the sport that gave me so much. I'm really grateful for.
That's awesome. So they do a good job with NIL. I mean, like, how many deals you got right now?
I think, like, currently around, like, 3 or 4.
3 or 4.
Yeah, so, and then there's, like, some stuff in the works, but,
So what deal do you want that you don't have right now or that you would like to have? Like, what brand can you, like, look, if you're listening, sign me.
So I have a Jeep, and it's had a lot of problems. So we were talking about selling it, and then, trying to find, like, a car company down here that would be interested in doing an NIL, which I think would be sick. But I also love my Jeep. Her name's Raquel. So Raquel. And I don't think I can get rid of her. So if Jeep wanted to come in and pay the expenses every single time I had to take it into the shop, that'd be a huge deal.
So, we can definitely probably Jeep should be listening to this. They, because who's the girl who has an actual car?
That's Belle Smith. Yeah. She has the Bronco.
And she's
I remember when that came out. I was like, oh my gosh, like.
Or Bronco's Ford, right? I think.
Yeah.
Because I got a Mustang. Shout out Monica the Mustang. But, yeah. Ford's nice. I have a deal. Okay, like it's kind of I wouldn't say deal. Oh yeah, it is a deal. So Tesla, they do like I get a car pretty much like in most of my events, depending on like where we are. But like in Memphis and Nashville, I get a car every time. So like I'll get like a Model X. It was sick. Yeah. Like their best car.
Oh my gosh, Teslas are sick. My mom has one, and it's like you don't have to pay for gas, which is like amazing, especially down here.
It's just electric, bro. That's what I'm saying. It's so cheap.
And you don't realize how fast it revs up, and then you go into a different car, and then you try and like rev up, and you're like, I'm not making it.
No, exactly. And on top of that, like they're not like I don't even know what the word would be, but they don't do what is it called? I can't even think of it.
Teslas are regular cars.
Teslas. They do like they don't
have the brake too.
Yeah.
Like
so
you have to like pull off the thing.
Right, exactly. So like it's just like
and then when I go back
it's a weird experience because when you press the gas, sometimes I got a headache the first time I drove in a Tesla. Because like it's just like it's like a fucking spaceship.
Like, I agree, it's a spaceship, and then you hear it, it's like, and I'm like, oh.
But they're cool though. I personally like I want a Vet next.
Yeah.
But like
we were talking about that.
Yeah, I want a Corvette so badly, but
I'm a Jeep girl. Like I love
Jeep. I mean, got to. But Corvette, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep right now. Chevy's its own thing. Never mind.
Camaros are nice.
Camaros are okay.
But they're also everywhere. Yeah, like I feel like I see them everywhere.
Yeah, I mean you're in Florida, so it's like sport car central.
Yeah, it is.
But the Jeep truck you have is sick though.
Oh, thank you.
Did you drink a lot of gas?
Yes. It's like 11 miles to the gallon. And it's like
I'm like 23.
It hurts.
I want to say.
It hurts, yeah.
It does. Is USF not paying for your gas, yeah? They're like, no.
They're like, we can't support that.
Maybe we can't. We can't support that. So just going back to the original conversation before we digress the Jeep trucks and whatnot. But what's coming out for you this year that like NIL wise, like what can we look forward to? Like we mentioned like the brand roughly, like you want to talk about that a little bit or?
Yeah. So I'm coming out with like a logo where it's kind of like all under works, creating a logo and starting to create, a trademark. I guess it would be a trademark to my name. Like, when you see it, you're like, oh, that's person's brand.
That's
like,
you. Yeah.
Like Kobe Bryant, his Mamba,
the Mamba logo.
You see it and it's like, yeah, that's Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
So coming out with something that's memorable, but also not too cheesy because I don't want it to be a cheesy logo. So coming out with a logo fair. and then hopefully some merch that would, kind of build on my brand, like what I want to promote as an athlete. I stand for women's empowerment. We talked about that. But coming out and creating something that people would want to wear and would like as a, a female athlete, male too, want to promote that. So that's what's kind of in the works right now.
That's lit. I can get you some backyard merch too.
Oh yeah, I love that.
I'll send it to you. We got some cool stuff coming out. Yeah. So, and like I said, your brand I think is gonna be sick because we're gonna do a clinic. Like we're gonna do something, try to get that going.
Yeah.
Can't say like what we're gonna do yet, but we'll figure it out. But that'd be a great opportunity,
to
build. That's kind of like where my vision with backyard goes is like how do we build athletes' brands out, and we just.
And I think it's so important too because, especially as NIL has starting to get bigger, people are starting to realize that you are a brand and like what you post is a brand. Yeah. And before NIL, when I was in high school, like I would be like, I'm not a brand, like what? But it is important the image that you put out there and creating something that you are proud of. So.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. So are you doing any camps and clinics like at all, or are you just kind of like do people like call you like, hey, can you come do a camp like?
So
how does that work?
I don't know if you've heard of them. Premier Development in Tampa.
Premier Player Development?
Yes.
I know who that is. He went to UT.
Yeah, he did go to UT.
Shout out Harry.
Yeah. So he we're kind of creating something in the works where I'll help run their female side of things in lacrosse and run some clinics. So
okay.
that's my next clinic thing. I would say.
No, Premier's like we're both UT student, or like Harry went to UT.
Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah. No, he's a good dude.
there.
He's a really good dude.
Yeah.
No, we're trying to get something on the men's side. I just don't really know just yet because like we are kind of like competitors in a sense. So it's
yeah,
like,
I know. I was about to say I don't know if I can.
I don't know
about
how
this,
much
so
we
maybe
can actually do. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, but it's all love. Like you know, I'm not gonna like. It's not me. It's not me. But yeah. So I love that.
Yeah. So
I'm excited for you.
And then like back home, I gave lessons, which is just good money. I mean, like,
people pay.
Also, just being able to work with girls, like, and seeing kind of where they're at, and helping them get to a place that they want to be is like really empowering and really special. That I can almost like watch them grow in a sense. Because I've had girls that were middle schoolers when I started training them, and now I really can't train them as much. But seeing them as high schoolers, it's like makes me like proud. You know?
No, it's like mom moment.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I see you spread. That's how I feel about my kids too. It's like, dude, I've worked with some kids that are literally like, you know, I've seen them when they were in the 4th grade.
Yeah.
Now they're like sophomores in high school. I'm like, dude, like I remember when you literally was just a little thing. Now you're like bigger than me.
I know.
Like it's crazy, you know. Crazy. And like every time I come home, it's like, damn, like.
Yeah, so and it's like the next generation of athletes. Like, literally. And like we get to empower them, and we get to kind of help them lead the way, as someone did for me.
And that's why I'm saying, like, connecting like people like you with different, like they look up to that.
Yeah, and it's special.
100% is special. So what would you like, you know, say to, you know, a young girl coming up, like as far as like how to get to where you are? Like, what are some like words you would give of wisdom, like? To somebody goes, hey, like, I want to be you when I grow up. What are you going to say to that?